CQ, CQ SOTA, Echo India 8, Juliet Echo Bravo, calling CQ, standing by. Hello everyone. What a beautiful, beautiful morning. I'm sitting on the slope of Mullaghanattin, one of the slopes of what is called Mullaghanattin Horseshoe Trail. And I'm planning to do this entire horseshoe trail to activate 2 more summits. I'm currently at 65 points in the SOTA score, 65 points towards the 1000 goal to get me the Mountain Goat Award. And if I'm successful, I'll score 20 more points today, because I'm planning to climb 2 summits, each 10 points. So I'm currently at Mullaghanattin, as I mentioned, well, close to the summit. This summit is not one of the SOTA summits. However, this one there, that's Mullaghanattin, which is pretty high, 773 meters, and that's the first one I'm gonna climb. So I'm gonna walk over the ridge, which is partially visible behind Mullaghanattin, all the way there to Mullaghanattin. On Mullaghanattin, I'll do the first activation, hopefully successful, and then move on over that ridge to Baun. Baun is that flatter, well, it seems flatter from this side, but it's almost equally high summit. And from Baun, where hopefully I'll score another 10 points, I'll walk back down to my car, which is there. Not sure if you can see it, but anyway, a long trail ahead of me, so bear with me. I already had to take rest. It was pretty steep climbing the first stretch here, and this time I've also taken a more serious camera with me, which means I need to walk slower because my luggage is much heavier, but I hope to take slightly better pictures this time on the trail. And the views from Mullaghanattin are supposed to be amazing. I hope I'm more lucky than a week ago. You remember the Brandon Mountain and Brandon Peak activations, which were successful, but they all happened in a cloud, so there were no views to share. This time I'm hoping to show less of my face and more of the amazing views of the Kerry Mountains. I will talk a bit more about the geography of the place when we're closer to the summit. I had to stop to show you something. So in these parts of Ireland, in Southwest Ireland, there is a set of flower and plant species that are very unique to this area. They are called Lusitanian flora. They are unique because they only exist in some parts of Ireland and in Portugal and Spain, but don't exist anywhere between these areas. So they don't exist in France, they don't exist in in Great Britain either. So I think these scientists are still puzzled how they made it to Ireland. They suspect they are native to Ireland, and I think I can show you one of them. I'm not a botanist, but I think this is one of them. It's one of the species of heather, Irish heather, with these little pinkish flowers. I'll take a better picture with my other camera to show you, but I think this is one of the Lusitanian flora. If I find any more, I'm hoping to find what is called St. Patrick's cabbage somewhere in these mountains as well. But this heather, I think, also counts as Lusitanian flora. Read about it. Fascinating read, even if you're not interested in flowers or plants. I'm now on the proper ridge leading to Mullaghanattin. The view from here is amazing, and actually, the view of Mullaghanattin itself, this triangular summit, no wonder they call it the Irish Matterhorn, but also we're starting to see other mountains as well, Mullaghanattin Reeks in particular there. Look. Lovely. I'm gonna talk more about where we are and what we can see again when we're closer to the summit. Let's continue for now. Okay, so far the hike has been very nice. The trail is not marked in any way, so you need to walk through grass, you need to walk through meadows, and sheep run in front of you and all that stuff. But it's pretty straightforward where you need to go, and if you have the All Trails app, it also shows you roughly where you need to be heading. I took a short break because I'm very hungry, and the view that you see behind me, I'm heading there. I'm heading towards Mullaghanattin, and the ridge is pretty straightforward from here. I don't even need to look at the All Trails app from now, but I'm heading there, and what you see behind me is the Mullaghanattin Reeks, including Ireland's highest mountain, Carrantui, which I already climbed with my wife and daughters once, but that was before the SOTA era, so I need to climb it again to score the summit, of course. But anyway, today we're scoring Mullaghanattin and Barn, and for now I'm taking a break. And the good news is also that there's GSM coverage here. GSM coverage is not needed for SOTA activations or for anything ham radio related for that matter, but it's useful. It's useful, especially for SOTA. It's useful for spotting yourself on SOTA Watch, and also for looking up your QSOs, and also because I have coverage, I can message my family that I'm safe. All right, I've just climbed one of the intermediate summits. It was tough, and it started blowing so strong that I could barely keep my balance, and I lost one of my dead cats. I hope it fell somewhere into my clothes, but I am too tired to check that now. So one last stretch ahead of me before I am on the top of Mullaghanattin. That's Mullaghanattin ahead of us, and that ridge, that's the last stretch I need to climb. pretty straightforward where to go, but it's still gonna make me quite tired before I'm on the top. So far the views are just breathtaking, so I'm so happy that the weather is good. It's not sunny, but it's also not so cloud that I need to walk in the middle of a cloud. So really great, and literally nobody so far on the trail. I haven't met a single person, a single farmer, only sheep and birds. There's a crow. And I'm on top of Mullaghanattin. I made it. And before we move on to activating and doing radio work, let me try and say a few words about the geography, as I promised multiple times. So again, the summit's name is Mullaghanattin. It's 773 meters high, and it is a part of Dunkeron Mountains. And let me now start showing you around. Even though it's super windy, I hope you can still hear me. So let's start with where we are. That's west, that is north. This is the summit, the trigonometric benchmark here. East is there and south is there. And now we're on the Ivera Peninsula, which is one of the many peninsulas on the southwestern coast of Ireland, the very rugged and dramatic coast. Each of these peninsulas has its own characteristics. It has unique flora. It has different undulation of the terrain. Each of them is like a land in itself, and there's a lot to talk about each of them. But we're on the Ivera, which is, I think, area-wise the largest of them, and it's a part of County Kerry. And the mountains that you see here are generally called, all of them, including the one I'm standing on, are called Kerry Mountains. But Kerry Mountains comprise multiple ranges, and the one that I'm on, and where Mullaghanattin is on, is called Dunkeron Mountains. The highest peak of Dunkeron Mountains is this one, which is Stampa Dulloch. But the higher mountains that you see there, that's already not Dunkeron Mountains, that's Mullaghanattin Reek, the highest range in Ireland, including the highest peak, this one, of the entire Republic of Ireland, and it's called Carrantui. The body of water which you see there, that's Kenmare River. It's called river even though it's actually a bay or a sea inlet, but it's traditionally called Kenmare River. Kenmare is a town which is behind these mountains there, actually slightly more to the north there. The other peninsula, which can be seen behind that body of water, is called Beara Peninsula. And the other peninsula, which is seen on the northern side, beyond that body of water, and that body of water is Dingle Bay, that peninsula there, with barely visible mountains, is Dingle Peninsula. we were there last week, and that's where we scored points for Brandon Mountain and Brandon Peak. Now the wind is super strong, so I don't want to walk close to this cliff, but there's a very steep cliff just here. Let me not risk going too close. I'll be walking later towards the barn there, and we will have a lot of time to admire the cliffs, because we'll be walking basically between two cliffs. But anyway, that's so much for geography. I think if I forgot about something, I'll mention it later. For now, I think it's time to somehow set up an antenna in this wind and start activating Mullaghanattin. Let's do that. You're not gonna believe this. I think it's like an hour or an hour and a half, or maybe longer, after I recorded last video. The moment I started putting up my antenna, I realized half of my antenna is missing. So my body pole, basically, this is the first part of it, and the second, the longest one, is missing. I don't know if I lost it somewhere on the way, or if I lost it, I don't know, it fell off the cliff. I think it disengaged from my backpack and must have been dropped somewhere, or maybe I left it in the car. I don't know. In any case, I don't have half of my antenna, and of course the antenna wouldn't work, so I had to improvise. And you're not gonna believe it. What I did is I took the counterpoise cable from the antenna, attached it to this trig benchmark, and basically attached it directly to the input of the tuner here. You see this green line. I had to somehow improvise the mechanical structure for this, so that the tension is there, and at the same time it doesn't fall apart in this very strong wind. And I was able, with a lot of effort, to make 6 contacts. I made 6 contacts using this totally improvised antenna. So I was able to tune it on the 20 meter band and on 40 meter band. Made several contacts, as I said, and I'm still in shock that it even worked, because the moment I saw that my antenna is missing, I thought, okay, that's never gonna work. I'm not gonna activate this mountain. But I did activate it. Look, this whole antenna, I didn't use it. I wasn't able to use it. I only used the counterpoise. I had to cut it a little so that it fit into the middle of the BNC connector. But Mullaghanattin is activated. I'm thrilled. Also, I'm tired, and I'm at least 2 hours behind my schedule, so I don't think I'm gonna go to Ban. I'm not gonna go to Ban, which is there, because first, making contacts with this improvised antenna is taking so much time that I don't think I would be able to activate it anyway. And second, it's much later than I was expecting it to be at this point. So I think I'm gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna walk back and will activate Ban sometime in the future. However, I still consider today a huge success, if not the biggest out of all, because of the totally improvised antenna conditions that I had that actually let me activate this mountain. Alright, I was at 65, I am now at 75 points, and I'm gonna share some views with you, even though it's totally blowing my head off here. I'm gonna share some views with you. I'm gonna take my serious camera, film a little bit around. There were people here, they were asking what I was doing. They must be already somewhere on that mountain, because they are doing the full loop. I'm not gonna do the full loop given what happened. So let me now share a few views. Far, if I zoom in, I think you should be able to see the Skellig Islands, which from SOTA perspective is a separate story I need to talk about once, but anyway, doesn't matter. In the east direction, this beautiful series of summits, that's our current tool there, the highest mountain of Ireland, and it's a part of Mullaghanattin Reeks. The closer mountain here, this one, also pretty high, is the highest mountain in the Dunkeron Mountains, and it's called Stampa Duluk, if my Irish pronunciation is correct. And that's about it. Again, my improvised antenna, I still consider it sort of miracle that it worked.
Echo India 8, Juliet Echo Bravo, is that correct?
Roger, that's correct. I'm using a very weak antenna, very bad antenna. I'm on SOTA, Summit on the Air.
Echo India 8, Juliet something Bravo, try again.
Echo India stroke India Sierra 015. I'll look it up, but I'm glad to work a summit on the air in Ireland. You're in the log, 73.
Okay, I copy Echo Italy 8, Juliet Echo Bravo. Thank you for the 5 and 7. You're 5 by 2 into northern Brittany coast. And 5 by 2 and reference, lighthouse reference, Fox Romeo 0027. Fox Romeo 0027. Echo Italy 8, Juliet Echo Bravo, Tango Mike 22 Lima Hotel.
CQ SOTA, Echo India 8, Juliet Echo Bravo, calling CQ, standing by.
Sierra, Bravo, Lima, Mike.